Chapter 1. Early Life and Humble Beginnings. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, later known as Pope Francis, was born on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, to Italian immigrant parents. His father, Mario, was an accountant in the railway industry, and his mother, Regina Savori, was a dedicated homemaker who raised 5 children. Initially trained as a chemical technician, Jorge felt a calling to the priesthood and entered the Via Devoto Diocesan Seminary. On March 11, 1958, he joined the novitiate of the Society of Jesus, Jesuits, a Roman Catholic order founded in 1534 by Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Chapter 2. Education and Formation. As a Jesuit, Jorge pursued studies in the humanities in Chile and returned to Argentina in 1963, earning a philosophy degree from Colegio Máximo de San Jose in San Miguel. From 1964 to 1966, he taught literature and psychology at Immaculate Conception Seminary in Santa Fe and Colegio del Salvador in Buenos Aires. In 1967, he completed his theological studies and was ordained a priest on December 13, 1969, by Archbishop José Ramón Castellano. He furthered his education in Spain at the University of Alcalá de Henares from 1970 to 1971, and made his perpetual vows as a Jesuit on April 22, 1973. Chapter 3. Leadership in the Jesuit Order. In July 1973, Jorge was appointed Provincial Superior of the Jesuits in Argentina, a role he held for 6 years. In 1980, he became rector of the San Miguel Seminary, where he had trained as a seminarian. In 1986, he traveled to Germany to complete his doctoral dissertation. During his time there, he encountered the painting Mary Untier of Nautz in Augsburg, which deeply inspired him. He brought a copy of the image back to Argentina, where it became a significant symbol of devotion for him. Chapter 4. Rise in the Church Hierarchy. In 1992, Cardinal Antonio Quaracino, Archbishop of Buenos Aires, sought Jorge as a close collaborator. On May 20, 1992, Pope John Paul II appointed him titular Bishop of Auca and Auxiliary Bishop of Buenos Aires. Jorge chose the episcopal motto, Miserando atque eligendo, by having mercy in choosing. Following Quaracino's death, he succeeded him as Archbishop of Buenos Aires on February 28, 1998, also serving as Primate of Argentina and Ordinary for Eastern Rite Catholics without their own bishop. On February 21, 2001, Pope John Paul II elevated him to cardinal, assigning him the title of Cardinal Priest of San Roberto Bellarmino. Jorge urged his followers not to travel to Rome for his cardinalate celebration, instead encouraging them to donate the funds to the poor. Chapter 5. A Voice for Social Justice. As a cardinal, Jorge's sermons resonated widely in Argentina, Italy, and beyond, emphasizing social inclusion and critiquing governments that neglected marginalized communities. Known for his austere lifestyle, he lived in a modest apartment in Buenos Aires and, when visiting Rome, wore a simple black cassock, reportedly reusing his predecessor's cardinal robes. In 2002, he declined the presidency of the Argentine Bishops' Conference, but was elected in 2005 and re-elected in 2008 for another 3-year term. His humility and commitment to the poor earned him admiration, as noted by biographer Francesca Ambrogetti, who described his lifestyle as sober and austere. Chapter 6. Election as Pope Francis Jorge participated in the 2005 conclave that elected Pope Benedict XVI. Following Benedict's resignation on February 28, 2013, he attended the subsequent conclave and, on March 13, 2013, he was elected Pope Francis. 2013 was elected the 266th Pope, taking the name Francis. He became the first Latin American Pope and the first non-European Pope in over 2,000 years of Catholic history. Demonstrating his simplicity, he left the Vatican the morning after his election in an unmarked car to pray at the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore in Rome, and personally settled his hotel bill at a clergy residence in the city. Chapter 7. A Papacy of Humility and Reform. Pope Francis's papacy was marked by humility and a focus on mercy. He lived simply, rejecting lavish accommodations, and urged priests to show compassion and welcome all people. His motto, "The poor are my people, and I am one of them," reflected his solidarity with the marginalized. In his 2013 apostolic exhortation, Evangelii Gaudium, the Joy of the Gospel, he criticized materialism and economic inequality. While upholding Catholic teachings on issues like euthanasia, abortion, and priestly celibacy, he advocated for a less rigid focus on moral enforcement, famously stating, "If a homosexual person seeks God and has goodwill, who am I to judge?" He also commissioned a survey to gauge Catholics' views on family and sexual ethics, a groundbreaking move. Chapter 8. Advocacy for Peace and Justice. Pope Francis consistently addressed global crises, notably the Ukraine conflict and the Gaza crisis. In his 2024 Christmas Urbi et Orbi blessing, he called for bold negotiations to achieve lasting peace in Ukraine and urged a ceasefire in Gaza, the release of hostages, and humanitarian aid for those suffering from hunger and war. His commitment to social justice was rooted in Catholic teachings, emphasizing the Ten Commandments and the Beatitudes. He warned against spiritual worldliness, a self-centered attitude he saw as detrimental to the Church, and declared that violating human dignity was a grave sin. Chapter 9. Health Challenges and Final Days. In early 2025, Pope Francis faced serious health issues. On February 14th, he was hospitalized for bronchitis, later diagnosed with pneumonia and thrombocytopenia, requiring blood transfusions. By February 22nd, a prolonged respiratory crisis necessitated high-dose oxygen, and he developed mild kidney failure. Thousands gathered at St. Peter's Square and Gemelli Hospital in Rome, where he was treated, to pray and leave flowers and cards. Despite his critical condition, he recorded a voice message on March 6th, thanking supporters. After 38 days in the hospital, he appeared publicly on March 23rd from the hospital balcony, smiling and giving a thumbs up to the crowd. Chapter 10. Legacy and Passing. Despite medical advice to rest, Pope Francis remained active, visiting prisoners at Regina Coeli Prison in Rome on April 17, 2025, for an Easter event where he offered prayers for inmates and their families. He continued to greet crowds from the Pope Mobile in St. Peter's Square during Easter celebrations. Tragically, on April 21, 2025, at 7:35 a.m., Pope Francis passed away at age 88, as announced by Cardinal Kevin Farrell. The Bishop of Rome, Francis, has returned to the house of the Father. His death left a profound void, with the world mourning a leader remembered for his simplicity, compassion, and tireless advocacy for peace equality, and the poor.